Hey, what's good, y'all? Hope y'all doing well. Hope y'all are feeling blessed. We back with another YouTube video. We on the road with it. It's gonna be like this all day, but just wanted to come here and share just some of my thoughts. Today's topic is going to be on writing and journaling. I think it's super important that we keep it consistent. I know I fall victim to it sometimes where we lack the consistency, but it can pay dividends and be so conducive to whatever goal you're trying to achieve. And I just want to be the reminder here to tell you that you should do it. It should be as simple or like the back of your hand as reading and things of that nature. It's going to help with your ability to orate. It's going to help with your ability to think clear, and it just helps in so many facets when you put pen to paper. I'm also a notes person too, where I'll put this stuff in my phone and I'll have it in my notes app on my phone. Notes, for my iPad, they're synced together, or sticky pad on, if I don't have a Mac or Apple related product. Like, I have stuff all over the place. But not only a reminder for y'all, but even for myself, like, we'll have certain objectives and goals that we're trying to reach, and we often will write them once and don't come back to them or don't look at them. And I want to remind you, like, you should actually be looking at them repeatedly and daily, not on a cheesy, I'm speaking these affirmations and I'm not doing the work on the back end, but seeing it over and over again, actually speaking it and actually living it, especially on the moments and the days where you don't want to do it, is when it helps you get over the hump. I almost think of it for New Year's resolutions. That's a huge one, and I've even fallen victim to it in the past of like writing out a resolution and then I'll look back and I'm like, I looked at this paper twice. How do you expect to achieve the result and you have even looked at the thing that you've been desiring? You may be trying to put in the work, and it's not necessarily saying that all of that is just wrong, but you may be trying to put in the work, but you're making it so much harder, because how do you even remember clearly exactly what it is on the day-to-day, the week-to-week, the month-to-month to actually execute it and get it done? So just want to put that big reminder of actually looking at it on a frequent basis, whatever that objective is. Think about it like this. You're studying for a test, however your method is. You're visual, audio, auditory kind of person as far as learning and comprehending things. Let's say you like index cards and you like recall, whatever the case is. Imagine you wrote down the answers and you're trying to cover the answers, or wrote down the questions in the answers and you're covering the answers and trying to practice that way. You use a partner, whatever the case may be, and you write it down the first time. The test is a week later and you only looked at it once, and then the test shows up. Your chances or likelihood of it having stuck and resonated with you and it being familiar are so much slimmer than if you were looking at it 9 a.m. on Monday, 12 p.m. on Monday, 5 p.m. on Monday, Tuesday, 11 a.m. on Tuesday, 6 p.m. on you know what I'm saying? So like, you're ingraining a pattern, you're ingraining even just like a routine with it. Brushing your teeth while looking at the index cards or whatever system you're utilizing. So just want to say, journaling has so much power, and more than we think. That's even just on the objective goal side of things. From venting, from creativity, the amount of thoughts, it's in all of our brains, but the amount of thoughts that go into this brain, it's endless. And I'll have moments, because of the nature and the life that we live now, where we're all engorged in our devices and things of that nature. Our attention spans, if you're not focused on really trying to sharpen that tool, they are going like this. You could have an idea or something like that, and 3 hours later, forget 3 hours, 30 minutes later, you're in the same space, same room, and you forgot. So I feel like that's something that's crucial for me when it comes to creativity for content, finding ways to recall some things that I've learned a long time ago or decades ago, not decades, but a decade ago, and being able to simplify it the way I've simplified it for plenty of other clients. Sorry, this car just did something crazy. But yeah, from a creativity standpoint, content standpoint, being able to simplify the things that I do when I was training more in person, getting it into video form, getting it from one platform to the next and making sure that it's cohesive, my own daily schedule, my own achievements and objectives, like just writing them all out, because some of those are going to be tried and true and they stay consistent day in and day out, week in and week out, month to month, whatever the case is, and then some of them shift. So being able to look back and be like, okay, This is the structure that I had during this season that was working. This is the structure that I had that I felt like I liked on paper, but it was really hard to sustain. So it's nice to have that written, and when you thought of the idea or the inception of the idea, and then actually seeing whether it came to fruition or not. So again, writing out your objectives, your tasks, your goals that you're setting for yourself and looking at them repeatedly is super crucial. And also all the thoughts that come to us, whether $1 million ideas or penny ideas, get them out, because maybe it could tell you what direction you need to be going in. So just my 2 cents on that. Other ways that I like to connect it as well, and it still kind of be correlated to the goal setting and achievement setting, along with venting, creativity. There's certain things that maybe you can't flesh out just yet, or because of the jumbled thoughts, they don't come out as clear, but when you write them out, they sound better. Whether it's having a harsh conversation with somebody you care about, harsh conversation with a client, harsh conversation with prospect, harsh conversation with a partner, family, sibling, whatever the case is. Like sometimes writing it out will make that a little bit clearer for you and more evident. So that's another way. Even going back into healthcare, and these are all still related to health, mental health, physical, emotional, spiritual, things of that nature. But another good way that I've mentioned in the past that I'll bring up again is like documenting how you feel through movement. Our first instinct, and it's very great that we utilize data, and it could be like we increased in weight, we increased in the reps we did, we increased in XYZ. But sometimes it could be as simple as documenting, hey, this felt much lighter. What did I do different? Oh, okay, I created tension this way, or I had this kind of setup when I did my deadlift. Whatever, writing that out, whether it's in an app or platform or literally writing it out, I think it's crucial or helpful, because once again, you can come back to seeing it face to face, and it's like, okay, now I've kind of not only created a shortcut, but I've created the proof to be like, okay, I know this works because I have it documented. There's so many things that could be way clearer. Even creating systems, business, I'm still working through it because of all the thoughts and creativity and the things that I do that are like the back of my hand. But eventually, as I continue to expand and grow, I'm going to need to have all these things written out, because it's going to be one way if I can just talk about it verbally, but at that phase I won't have the time to necessarily do that. Of course, earlier on I will, but when it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, it's going to be way more seamless to have me at the disposal, of course, but at the same time having a training on this for content, this for programming, this to nurture somebody, this is how you go through hiccups, flare-ups, this is how you know, all those kinds of things. I may have the answer, or I have an idea of where to go and collaborate and work with the individual to get the goal, adaptation, whatever the case is. But not everybody else is going to think like me, and that's the beauty of the uniqueness of each and every one of us. So just a tidbit on writing, journaling, tracking, seeing the evidence, not just feeling the evidence, fleshing out ideas, being clear in your thoughts, even just for yourself, venting, so even your own internal dialogue can improve. All of those things, I believe, encapsulate journaling, writing, and the benefits of them. So that's all I got for today. I wanted to share that. Hope y'all got some gain from it. Hopefully y'all can implement it and get back to me on how it may be beneficial for y'all. But that's all I got. Like, comment, subscribe as always. I hope y'all have a great rest of y'all day. Get after it, get to it, and I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.